In this chapter, you will learn the basic steps for making safe deliveries of liquid sodium cyanide to mine sites. Since equipment configurations vary at different mine sites, please be aware that not all valve, piping, and tank configurations will be the same. This chapter depicts the typical steps in making safe deliveries of liquid sodium cyanide. Follow the mine site's safety and security requirements for coming into the mine site. Use your cell phone or truck satellite communication equipment to send an arriving customer gate message. This updates Cyanco control of your trip progress and correct location. Most, if not all, mines require you to badge or check in upon arrival. Be sure to follow their specific requirements for bringing a vehicle on site. Make sure you're wearing your hard hat, safety glasses, safety footwear, and, if required, a high visibility vest or jacket prior to performing the following tasks. As soon as you exit the truck, install wheel chocks as required by mine site rules. Typically, a mine attendant may be present to verify your bill of lading and to observe your offload. If the attendant or anyone is accompanying you at the offload site, be sure to point out where your backup or buddy sodium cyanide specific personal protective equipment is located. To avoid contaminating your truck, do not have your sodium cyanide specific personal protective equipment on at this time. Once the trailer is secured, verify the locations and readiness of safety equipment such as the safety shower and eye wash stations. Inspect the walking, working surfaces and stairways that you'll be using during the course of your work to ensure they're in good condition. If you find an unsafe condition, stop work and report it to your mine site contact. Verify that the tank can hold the product to be delivered without overflowing. Use your cell phone or the truck's satellite communication equipment to send @customer tank message with starting tank level percentage. This updates Cyanco control of your status and verifies that you're in the right tank and that the level is okay to offload. Verify that a mine attendant is present prior to making the offloading connections.
So how was your weekend?
Bad, not long enough.
Yeah, it never is.
Connect and secure the customer air supply hose to the truck, but do not open the valve at this time. If you are using the tractor blower air, engage the power takeoff, or PTO, from the cab. Connect the tractor blower hose to the trailer's three-way valve. Engage the blower. Then verify that the blower is working properly by setting the blower to the vent position. Put on your sodium cyanide specific PPE at this time. This includes a hard hat, face shield with goggles, chemical suit, nitrile gloves, and rubber boots. Once you've put on your sodium cyanide specific PPE, you cannot re-enter your tractor. Break the security seal from the hose tray latch. Then remove the product hose from the tanker hose tray and carefully walk it over to the customer fitting. Remove caps and plugs only at the customer tank fitting area, not outside of containment, and secure the truck's Camveloc hose end valve to the customer's mating offload fitting. Open the customer tank block valve. Then open the Camveloc hose end valve and inspect the product hose while following it back to the tanker's block valve. In this diagram, you can see the external liquid block valve and air block valve on the back of the trailer, which are operated manually. The air supply valve and connection, the product hose and valve, and the internal valves inside the tank trailer, the air valve, and the liquid valve, both of which are normally in a closed position, while the external bypass is in the open position and fails open. These three valves are open and closed by a hydraulic system which is operated from the rear deck of the tank trailer and controls all three valves simultaneously. The customer's tank valve is opened, as well as the tanker's liquid block valve and air block valve. Then, the unloading air supply from the customer's air supply, from the tractor blower, or both, is opened. The air flows freely through the system, bypassing the internal valves inside the top of the tanker and into and out of the customer's tank. This ensures that the air supply is okay and can also flow freely through the delivery system before offloading the liquid. Verify the piping and valves used to unload the product are all open by momentarily closing the liquid block valve at the rear of the tanker. There should be an immediate pressure rise on the upstream gauge. Reopen the valve after the pressure rise is verified. Now it's time to offload the product. On the back deck of the trailer is a manual hydraulic pump, similar to a bottle jack. Pumping this operates 3 valves simultaneously as a unit. It closes the external bypass and opens the internal air valve and the internal liquid valve. The air pressure rises to force the cyanide liquid up through the dip tube, through the piping and hose, and into the customer's tank. Note at this time that the delivery hose is getting heavier and that the customer's tank level is rising. The tanker will typically complete its offloading of product after 45 to 60 minutes. It must remain with the tanker during this entire offloading operation, periodically inspecting equipment and checking the rise of liquid level in the customer's tank. While waiting for the tanker to empty, you may remove your gloves, raise your face shield visor, and remove your chemical suit top, as long as you remain along either side of the tanker's fifth wheel area near an emergency break-off. However, do not wait near the storage tank. In the unlikely event of an emergency, such as the storage tank overflowing due to an instrument error or a hose or fitting leak, turn the release switch on the primary control, which is similar to the release knob on a bottle jack. This will depressurize the hydraulic or pneumatic controls. You also have the emergency break-offs, which can be used for the same purpose. Some rigs also have a panic button should an incident like this occur. Notify the mine attendant immediately and then notify your company contact using your available communications systems. After all the product has been unloaded, the tanker will depressurize and the unloading hose will begin to move as liquid is displaced from the hose. Close the valve for unloading air from the customer's air hose and disconnect the air hose from the truck. Or set the tractor blower air to vent, which also allows the blower to cool down properly. After the tanker vent header pressure is at 0, depressurize the offload controls to close the liquid and air vent valves and to open the bypass valve. Close the liquid and air vent block valves on the tanker. The Campbell lock hose end valve on the trailer, and any customer valves previously opened. Rinse and replace the caps and plugs. And secure the product hose in the tanker tray, then seal the latch. If the site is equipped with an offload basin, rinse any residue to the catch cup and pour it into the customer's sump, where it will be returned to the process. With the offload process complete, you'll need to rinse your sodium cyanide specific personal protective equipment. You can do this while you're wearing your PPE by immersing under a safety shower. Same thing can be accomplished by rinsing off with a hose. Then remove your sodium cyanide specific personal protective equipment and stow your PPE bag in the truck. Note the customer tank levels and use the truck's satellite communication system or your cell phone to send a leaving customer tank message with the ending tank level noted. Have the bill of lading signed by the mine representative who was present during the making and breaking of process connections and the start of the product flow. If you use the tractor blower air, remove and stow the truck's blower air hose. Walk around the tanker and inspect it prior to removing the wheel chocks, and then leave according to the mine site's procedures. Upon leaving the customer gate, send a leaving customer gate message and your estimated time of arrival at Cyanco. This updates Cyanco control of your trip progress and correct location. When returning to the Cyanco plant empty for a reload, drivers are only responsible for spotting their rig at the loading area, leaving their keys and proceeding to the driver's break area, while Cyanco plant personnel perform the loading procedures. If you have any questions after viewing this presentation, please contact a Cyanco technical representative.